Hello and welcome back to Ignite 2017. It's the biggest B2B marketing event in the world. And Maureen, you're very opinionated. You were telling me you were worried that some of your opinions might be a bit too fresh for us.
Cross the line, yes, I'll work on that.
But obviously you've got so much experience, as you were saying to me. I mean, what is it about an event like this that you think is so special?
Well, there's a lot of nonsense in the B2B marketing space worldwide, and there are a lot of nonsense conferences that really are like cotton candy. People walk away from them and they don't have actionable stuff they can work on. Whereas Joel and the team here at B2B Marketing work really hard on making sure that people like me who are presenting, or folks like my team who are attending, walk away with stuff where they can start making a material difference in the work they do the next day.
So you think other conferences, maybe you don't necessarily have anything tangible to take away, but here this could actually improve the way you do business?
Absolutely. So there is plenty of content here where folks can either quantitatively move the needle on the number of conversions they get with their content, or the types of influencers they work with. It delivers materially.
And speaking of pushing your content out further, I mean, what do you think the biggest trends are at the moment in B2B that people should be tapping into?
So everyone is talking about influencer marketing, and Marshall Kirkpatrick and I just presented on this earlier today. What we want folks to know is that influencer marketing in B2B is not about the Kardashian model. Right. Influencer marketing, what I told my session is, you don't have to be known to be effective. To be effective, you just need to be watching what's going on in the marketplace, be where the ball is going instead of where the ball is, so you know what the cool topics are coming up, and you're not just saying the same thing everyone else is saying. And you have to watch the marketplace to do that, and then influencers will engage for you, and you don't have to pay them.
And with the influencer model as well, you mentioned the Kardashians. Now I think lots of people, especially when they're going direct to consumers, they panic and think, oh, throw money at a celebrity. But do you think it's more important to have an expert with authenticity?
Yeah, it's all about authenticity. So, and the marketplace knows. And so you can have, if you're interacting with an influencer and they find you to be savvy, they will work with you, and it's mutually beneficial. The influencers want your reach that you have, you want their reach, but you have to be having a conversation that's at a quality level, and an event like B2B Marketing, in fact, it's really one of the only ones in the world that is like this.
Maureen, thank you so much for joining us. It's been very interesting chatting to you on and off camera.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the event. It's been an absolute pleasure. Now, don't forget, if you want to carry on following the live stream, it is on Facebook Live all day. And if you want to follow us on social media as well, keep up to date with what's going on here at B2B Marketing, then it's #Ignite 2017. Now, I've got another guest stepping in, Carla. Hello, welcome in. Here she is. Hello, Carla. It's lovely to meet you. Now, you've just been on stage talking all about creativity. Now, what's important about creativity when it comes to B2B marketing?
You know, I think what's most important for B2B marketers to know about creativity is that B2C marketing sets expectations for B2B performance. And so B2B marketers tend to say, you know, I can't be creative because I sell boring things, or, you know, it's a long sales cycle, or a million different excuses. But when we look at what sets people's expectations, and it's the Amazons and the Ubers of the world, we have to be able to look at what inspires them and bring that into our own brand so that we can be more creative.
So you think it's a case of watching these giant super brands, and maybe, I mean, everybody at every level can take a lesson from that?
Oh, absolutely, because what people and brands don't always understand is that there's a distinct process that creatives use to be creative all the time. And we tend to say, you know, I can't be creative because I don't have a budget, my boss would never approve, or we think that it's kind of something that people are born with, like they're really creative people, they're just naturally that way. But creativity is a skill just like anything else, and it's something that we can learn.
And you said as well that the creativity can offer potentially, I mean, exponentially better results. I mean, how does that work?
You know, when you look at what happens with creativity, a lot of it is that when you're massively creative, you don't really know where that's going to go. So the brands who do the most creative work tend to have outcomes that they never would have expected, and a lot bigger, that you actually aren't able to plan those kind of big outcomes, because when you try and plan it, that means you try and control it a lot more. And the process of creativity, while it's a process, it's going through the ideation and learning to understand what inspires people and what makes them take action. And that's what you can never plan, but that's what brings those exponential outcomes.
And these brands that do get these exponential outcomes and do know how people think, where do you you think they tap their creative ideas from?
You know, the most creative people are really aware of the world around them. So we're in this amazing space today, and it's something as simple as coming to a space that's different than what you normally come to, or looking at your everyday routine with much more open eyes to look at what are the details that really inspire you and engage you, and taking the essence of that and working that into your brand, because that's where great ideas come from. It's just really connecting the dots between what inspires people as a person and what it is they do in their work every day.
Carla, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Please do enjoy the rest of your time at the event. I think we've got somebody else who's now about to step in. Do remember, if you want to follow what we're doing here at B2B Marketing, the hashtag is IgniteB2B, and you can follow us on the live stream on Facebook all day. Now, Lynsey, step in. Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Welcome. It's very nice to meet you as well.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
So an event like this, what does it do for B2B marketeers? I mean, what do you take away from something like this?
I think it just really helps to put B2B in the market. I think sometimes, as was said earlier today, B2B can be seen as boring to boring. So I think this is just a really nice way to freshen it up and make people realise that it doesn't need to be that way.
And how do you stop, obviously, boring to boring? How do you make it engaging?
I think for me, it's just about being personal. And again, that's a theme that's come up today around being more personal. So I think in financial services, so I'm from Standard Life, and in financial services there's definitely an opportunity to take away what can sometimes be quite scary decisions about your financial future. Sometimes that can be a bit worrying for people, and just turn that into a positive. So for example, in the saving space, when you're thinking about saving for the future, recent changes like pension freedoms mean that people are thinking about that in a really different way. So I think we have an opportunity to kind of connect to their reality and really show them that by taking the right steps now for the future, it can be a much more optimistic experience. So I guess it's much less about the products and much more about the brand experience and what we can do for them, and that's all about that personal connection and relating to what they really need.
So is that how you think marketing's changed within the financial services industry, really?
I think that it is changing. I think we still have a long way to go, but I think from the sessions already today we can see how we're trying to be a lot more personal and actually just connect to people on that more relatable level, which in the past, especially in the B2B space, we struggled to do because we tend to see it as business to business. It's a really corporate relationship, whereas actually we need to realise that there are people and humans behind that business, and by connecting to them and their needs, that's how we really get the more effective brand experience.
So do you think that you, obviously being from financial services, because money, I mean, is something that is a difficult topic and it's very important to people, and kind of everything depends on your financial situation. Do you think you've got I suppose, a more nuanced and subtle task than other people when it comes to B2B marketing?
No, and I think that perhaps that is the perception, and I think if people take that as the perception, then we will almost settle for that a little bit. But I think that we have just as much opportunity as everybody else, and again, like I said, with recent changes in the financial services industry, I think there's an even bigger opportunity to step up, really be seen, and show that everything is about personal needs and wants at the end of the day, so just really connecting on that personal level.
Lynsey, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget, if you want to keep watching, then the hashtag is IgniteB2B, and you can keep following our Facebook stream all day. And don't forget, we've got exclusive content here for you, okay? So not everybody is seeing these live Q&As that we're doing. We'll also be streaming some of the keynote speakers as well. So make sure you keep watching to find out more.